Welcome to the This Week in Astrology video forecast. This is episode 84 for July 2017. Thanks so much for joining me. I'm Benjamin Bernstein of astroshaman.com, coming to you from Asheville, North Carolina. I'm an astrologer, shamanic healer, and awakening activator, and it's my pleasure to bring you these monthly astrology forecasts. These forecasts and the video include major events only. If you want more detail, my podcast, This Week in Astrology, covers that. Here on this video, if an aspect pattern starts and peaks in July, I'll only mention it on the starting date. If an aspect pattern started before July and peaks in July, I'll discuss it on its peak date here in July. So what's new as we come into July? Chiron turning retrograde is one of several events that spotlight the wounded healer's ability to bring wholeness where it hurts. You can also take advantage of a Capricorn Full Moon, a Leo New Moon, and a Jupiter-Neptune quincunx. We also have a T-square built for money making, a rare envelope aspect pattern packed full of asteroid goddesses, and much more. What's old as we come into July? We have a waxing moon, 5 T-squares, 1 double Thor's hammer, 2 kites, 1 grand trine, Pluto retrograde through September 28th. A lot already going on. And so now we've covered the past. Let's move into the present and look at what's happening on our significant forecast days. On Saturday, July 1st, Chiron turns retrograde at 3:09 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, around 29 Pisces. The wounded healer will turn direct again on December 5th, around 24 Pisces. Chiron's retrograde station is a great time to reflect on what shadow work would benefit you. Whatever causes you the greatest emotional upset usually points to the deepest psychological wound. My free healing invocation, as well as the additional resources linked from its post, have helped a lot of people do this shadow work. If you want to get to that, go to astroshaman.com. Look for the purple banner on the top of the homepage sidebar, and it says Heal and Awaken Invocations. If you're on a small screen like a phone, it'll be down the page a ways. Click it, tap it, whatever. You'll get to a page that now has 2 blog posts. The first is the Blue Angel post that covers my invocations in general. Right below that, with the photo of the screaming man, is the post that talks about the healing invocation. And it's a matter of you saying 7 simple words to your higher self, relaxing, and the higher self comes in and takes care of everything. Pretty amazing, really. So back to this Chiron retrograde interpretation. Also, think about your strengths in this archetype as Chiron starts to backpedal. How are you stepping into the roles of healer, mentor, shaman, awakener? These Chironic themes will hit home most powerfully for you if Chiron is making a conjunction, opposition, or square to sensitive points in your natal chart. Points most strongly affected will lie between 26 and 29 degrees in the mutable signs, that's Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, and Pisces, and between 0 and 2 degrees in the cardinal signs, those would be Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn. On Monday, July 3rd, relationship themes can be amplified by a Thor's hammer featuring Venus, Jupiter, and Pluto. Starts on July 3rd, peaks on the 6th, ends on the 8th. This potent aspect pattern can unmask challenging relationship issues and can also take whatever's wonderful between you to the next level. With Venus in Gemini, ask yourself if you're enjoying enough variety in your relationships. This could apply to the number of people you're interacting with or to how many different activities you're enjoying with one person. It's a great time to try something new. This Thor's hammer can also highlight how well you're communicating in your relationships. It also supports an eclectic, carefree approach to creativity. On Wednesday, July 5th, you have over a month to make creativity-enhancing adjustments with Jupiter quincunx Neptune. Jupiter, 14 Libra, Neptune, 14 Pisces. Piscean Neptune flows artistic inspiration, while Libra and Jupiter can amplify your desire to create. This aspect can also speed the release of relationships that don't serve your highest good, while dialing up blissful soul connection in those that do. The effects of this quincunx will resonate through August 11th. The Sun makes exact aspects to both these planets today. These connections, a Sun-Neptune trine, Sun 14 Cancer, Neptune 14 Pisces, and a Sun-Jupiter square, Sun 14 Cancer, Jupiter 14 Libra, will continue their influence through July 16th. The Sun's heat and light add additional energy to this Jupiter-Neptune quincunx for the next week and a half. With the Sun in Cancer, matters relating to home, family, and security can receive a smooth flow of energy and inspiration from Neptune. Jupiter can amplify whatever needs your attention and also fire up celebration, joy, and enthusiasm. On Friday, July 7th, the T-square with the Sun, Jupiter, and Pluto that started on June 29th peaks today. Again, that's on July 7th and ends on July 16th. At the most basic level, the Sun simply shines additional energy into the Jupiter-Pluto square. And Jupiter-Pluto square has quite a bit to it itself. If you go to my blog on astroshaman.com and go to this entry on July 7th, you'll see that I've linked Jupiter-Pluto square. You can click that and learn a lot more about it. With the Sun in Cancer during the entire T-square, the themes of family, home, nurturing, and security are strongly energized. If any of these are not on solid ground, challenge may arise to bring healing opportunities to your attention. Anything in these areas that's already in alignment can be powerfully and positively amplified. On Saturday, July 8th, as I wrote on June 19th, it's a great time to be serving a higher cause thanks to a grand trine composed of Vesta, Saturn, and Uranus. It started on the 19th, peaks today on July 8th, and ends on July 22nd. Vesta can help you enhance your ability to serve. It can motivate you to devote energy to something greater than yourself. She can also juice up your law of attraction work with sex magic. Vesta's in Leo, so feel free to draw appropriate attention to the cause you're supporting. What about the other members of the Grand Trine? Let Uranus lead, he's in Aries after all, with his intuitive flashes. Be willing to step outside the box if your inner guidance directs you, then have Saturn do all the necessary organizing, administration, and planning. With all three planets in fire signs, there's plenty of energy to get the ball rolling. On Sunday, July 9th, July's full moon illuminates the sky at 12:07 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time at 17 degrees 9 minutes Capricorn. Any Capricorn full moon is a great time to take stock of how you're doing in the areas of maturity, productivity, and time management. Are you playing the role of the wise elder as appropriate? Regarding Capricorn's dark side, are you overworking, treating people as expendable pawns, or allowing the ends to justify the means? This full moon's aspects are dominated by a 5-planet T-square. This includes the Moon, Sun, Mars, Juno, and Jupiter. Mars and Jupiter add lots of zing, made even stronger by their hard aspects to the Moon. This can give you abundant energy to intensify or make adjustments to these Capricornian life areas. Don't be surprised if anything that's out of balance in these areas draws attention to itself. Juno's presence in the T-square will have a similar effect. Whatever's in alignment in your committed partnerships will be positively energized, while challenges may get all up in your face. There's only one significant aspect to this full moon that's not in the T-square, a Moon-Neptune sextile. Considered independently, it can smoothly and powerfully augment your divine awareness and inspired creativity. In relation to the T-square, it can provide helpful intuitive insights about how to work with this aspect pattern's opportunities and challenges. This full moon Sabian symbol is the Union Jack flies from a new British warship. Given Britain's colonial history, the sun never sets on the British Empire. This evokes images of controlling others through force and repression. A Liverpool patriot and Mahatma Gandhi would obviously have very different reactions to this. This image invites you to ask if there's anyone you're forcing your will upon. If so, is this domination worth the time, energy, and resources it's taking? Does someone else have you under their thumb? If you're not content with this situation, what can you do to change it? I offer Ease, my free weekly healing and awakening process. It's the embodied awakening support experience, free weekly events via phone or web to help you enjoy more harmony, grace, and flow, eliminate suffering, boost your intuition, experience more synchronicity, stop mental chatter and challenging emotions, live each day in a peaceful awakened state, enjoy support from kindred spirits on your journey, and much more. The online recording library, over 90 MP3s and constantly growing, lets you experience the life-transforming power of ease anytime. On Monday, July 10th, relationship shadow work could be on the menu with a Ceres Juno Chiron T-square. This challenging aspect pattern starts today on July 10th, peaks on the 18th, and ends on the 30th. Chiron is the wounded healer and loves to trigger old emotional pain, so it can be healed. Juno represents committed partnerships, romantic or otherwise. Ceres can represent sorrow, mother-daughter relationships, and release and return. Chances are that something challenging will come up in at least one of your significant relationships. To learn how to communicate more clearly in challenging circumstances, I continue to recommend the book Nonviolent Communication, 3rd edition by Marshall Rosenberg. To clear emotional pain, many have found my free healing invocation helpful, and I've already told you how to find that on astroshaman.com. A sunnier possibility, use this T-square to seek sage advice on how to bring more abundance to a committed partnership. On Tuesday, July 11th, a week-long Finger of God with Mercury, Jupiter, and Neptune begins today on July 11th, peaks on the 14th, ends on the 17th. If you make the right adjustment, such as setting aside time for your art, this yacht is overflowing with creative potential. Storytelling Mercury is in Leo, the sign of the spotlighted performer. Expansive Jupiter is in Libra, the sign of the artist, and Piscean Neptune is all about creative inspiration. Let your muse out for some playtime. Paint, write, dance, and sing! On Thursday, July 13th, 3 related aspect patterns begin today. We'll start simple and work our way up. Here are 2 cool ways to use a grand trine with Juno, Vesta, and Uranus. That starts here on the 13th, peaks on the 28th, and ends on August 5th. First, following your intuitive guidance, work joyously for a selfless cause with a committed partner, or engage in sex magic with a committed partner to empower law of attraction manifestation. With Uranus and Aries, you can even get kinky. What is sex magic? It's simply using the power of arousal and orgasm and holding the vision of what you want to manifest while you're building those energies or climaxing. Pretty simple. It just juices up the power of your visualization. A grand trine will give you a certain amount of easy flow for free, but you'll need to mine the trine, apply conscious effort to get the greatest benefit. Next, a Ceres Juno Vesta Uranus kite is simply the prior grand trine with Ceres added as the focal point. It's the shortest lived of the 3 aspect patterns, starting today on the 13th, peaking on the 19th, ending on July 25th. Ceres adds a new dimension to the prior grand trine interpretations. It could support fundraising for that selfless cause, or the cause could help people heal their old sorrows. And that law of attraction sex magic now has clear support for amplifying your prosperity. Finally, we have a kite starting with all 4 asteroid goddesses. What a beautiful thing to have them all in harmonious aspect. Starts today on the 13th, peaks on July 29th, ends on August 11th. This gives you nearly a month to harmonize these 4 distinctive aspects of the feminine. And here I will break them down for you. Ceres, abundance, sorrow, release and return, mother-daughter relationships. Juno, committed partnerships. Pallas, feminine assertiveness, strategy, practical creativity. Vesta, honing your skills, selfless service to a higher cause, sex magic. The simplest way to work with this kite is to practice shifting from the attributes of one asteroid goddess to another. If you're more ambitious, try integrating 2 or more at once. I offer an unbeatable price on the world's #1 astrology software, which is SolarFire for Windows. A Mac running Windows and some Windows tablets will also run SolarFire. It's easy enough for beginners, powerful enough for professionals. Here's what reviewers are saying. A pleasure to interact with, more than enough applications to keep even the most experimental of you in a sustained state of bliss, says the Dublin Astrologer. Caduceus Journal says, an astrological program you are unlikely ever to outgrow, and top10reviews.com. SolarFire tops our list of the best astrology software. It's a perfect 10 in all categories. How can it get better than that? And no one sells SolarFire for less than Astroshaman. So if you want to do your own charts, do your own calculations, this is the premier program, and I'd be delighted to help you acquire that. On Saturday, July 15th, are you ready to embrace the next level of psychological work that will make your important relationships even more wonderful? I hope so, because a Venus Saturn Chiron T-square might just arrange that for you. This challenging aspect pattern begins today on July 15th, peaks on the 27th, and ends on August 1st. Chiron loves to dive into old emotional wounds, and Saturn is the stern taskmaster who gives you every chance to learn important life lessons. The resources I recommended in my July 10th forecast, that book Nonviolent Communication 3rd edition by Marshall Rosenberg, and my free healing invocation could also serve you well here. This T-square also supports gaining wisdom from others that can help you with your relationships, creativity, and finances. You could also create cathartic art with Venus and Gemini. The more diverse, the better. On Sunday, July 16th, you can communicate with enhanced insight about practical matters under a grand trine with Mercury, Saturn, and Uranus. It begins today on July 16, peaks on the 22nd, ends on the 27th. Intuitive flashes arrive more easily, and with Mercury in Leo, you can express them in an entertaining way. This grand trine also supports steady, focused learning, punctuated by mental breakthroughs. On Saturday, July 22nd, the Sun enters Leo at 11:15 a.m. U.S. Eastern Time. I'll cover the energy this radiates when I discuss the Leo new moon coming up next. On Sunday, July 23rd, July's new moon lines up at 5:46 a.m. U.S. Eastern Time. That's at 0 degrees, 44 minutes Leo. Leo has a more diverse set of meanings than any other zodiacal sign. For starters, any Leo new moon is great for new beginnings in leadership and stepping into the spotlight as a performer. Activities with kids are supported, as is getting playful with your inner child. Appropriate risk-taking or speculation gets fired up, and so does chilling out with some well-deserved rest and relaxation. This new moon's strongest aspect by far is a tight conjunction to Leonine Mars. All of this lunation's aspects are tight, by the way. This calls you to step out as a warrior, pioneer, entrepreneur, or sexual being. Mars can juice up whatever you initiate under this new moon big time. The next most important aspect is a square from Uranus in fiery Aries. This can challenge you to fly your freak flag higher than ever. How boldly are you willing to show your authentic self to the world? Your intuitive flashes may be frequent and emphatic. Are you willing to follow them even if they lead you into unknown territory? Next up is a trine from Chiron, offering you a smooth flow of divine energy and intuitive knowing. This can support your service as a healer and mentor. Finally, the urge to connect more deeply with your divine self is promulgated by a Neptune sesquare. That's 135 degrees. This aspect can also inspire you with exciting new creative ideas to share for the pleasure and benefit of others. This new mood Sabian symbol is a man is under emotional stress and blood rushes to his head. For starters, we'll assume that the head in question is the one attached to his neck. As Woody Allen once quipped, the problem with men is that they have two heads and only enough blood to run one at a time. But seriously, folks, the crazy times we're living in are putting many of us of all genders under a lot more emotional stress than usual. Many of us never fully relax at all. This has led to many personal and societal problems, including an escalating substance abuse crisis. More and more people are hitting their breaking point. Public acts of mass murder that would have shocked us a few years ago are now so common that we hardly raise an eyebrow. So, what skillful means can you employ when the blood rushes to your head? For starters, shake it out. Stomp your feet, jump up and down, shake your arms in big dramatic motions as if you're shaking water off. Scream it if you have to. I'm not going to model that. Do whatever it takes to throw off enough of the crazy energy so you can think clearly again. It can also help to put on some intense music with a strong beat and dance it out. Once you're calm enough, you can use subtler techniques to root out the cause of your upset at the core. My healing invocation, which I've described already, and the other modalities it links to have helped a lot of people process their shadow work. I believe that the extraordinary amount of darkness and dysfunction now rising in the world is the final clearing of the toxic energies we've been living under for the last few thousand years. This period of crazy purging is only a transition time, and the new golden age is already blossoming. It just doesn't get as many headlines. You can deepen your insight, healing, and awakening. Your astrology chart can reveal a wealth of information about your soul purpose, optimal career, and ideal romantic partner. Spirituality, timing, relocation. Your chart can provide helpful insights into every area of life. Getting a yearly Astrology Plus update can help you focus on what's important now. I also offer shamanic healing, which can reduce or eliminate physical, emotional, and mental issues. Your shamanic healing session will also give you simple, powerful techniques you can use on your own. These can help you take your healing and spiritual awakening to the next level. Additionally, I offer awakening activation, event timing, and more. All my services are equally effective in person, by phone, or by Skype. A digital recording of your sessions included, and my guarantee makes it risk-free. If you don't feel your experience was helpful, it's free. I love my work and look forward to helping you. Learn more at astroshaman.com now. On Friday, July 28th, ready to make some extra cash? Then the aspect pattern you've been waiting for has arrived. This 7-week T-square with Ceres, Jupiter, and Pluto is custom made for prosperity boosting. It starts today on July 28th, peaks on August 4th, and ends on September 15th. Ceres, the grain goddess, is associated with harvest and abundance. Jupiter has an ancient association with prosperity and is also associated with good luck and expansion. Pluto is the lord of wealth and is associated with extreme wealth. Hard aspect patterns, such as this T-square, can be challenging, but you can't beat them for dynamism and high energy. Your windfall could be directly proportional to how much resourcefulness and ingenuity you bring to this opportunity. This T-square could also go in a completely different direction. Ceres can relate to sorrow and loss, Pluto is the psychologist, and Jupiter is expanding relationship themes in Libra. So if you get triggered, have your shadow work tools ready. Also on July 28th, an envelope begins with Ceres, Pallas, Vesta, Neptune, and Pluto. As you can see, it's an aspect pattern that looks just like an envelope. My interpretation of this aspect pattern, which some would call a double kite, is going to be similar to what I said about the kite with all 4 asteroid goddesses earlier. For starters, this envelope lasts just over a month, starts today on July 28th, peaks on August 18th, ends on September 2nd. As with that earlier kite, the asteroid goddesses involved, Ceres, Pallas, and Vesta, are connected by sextiles. What's different is that we have the 2 slowest planets, Neptune and Pluto, energizing them with a combination of soft and hard aspects. As with the kite, the simplest way to work with this envelope is to practice shifting from the attributes of one asteroid goddess to another. You can also integrate 2 or more at once. Here again are the qualities of the asteroid goddesses involved. Ceres, abundance, sorrow, release and return, mother-daughter relationships. Pallas, feminine assertiveness, strategy, practical creativity. Vesta, honing your skills, selfless service to a higher cause, sex magic. What's different about this interpretation is the amplified power brought by Neptune and Pluto. Neptune can help you move beyond mental concepts and imagery and help you consciously merge with the goddess archetype involved. Pluto can empower this process while helping you release any aspect of yourself that's not in harmony with your embodiment process. I am not speaking metaphorically. These goddesses are actual divine beings that live in the mystical realms. This envelope can help you become one with them. Once you do, you can embody their life-affirming attributes as long as you live. And by the way, this is not unique to asteroid goddesses. Every single planet is also a divine being in the mystical realm. And by merging with them, you can do very powerful work in transforming their function in your life. That's the basis of what I do when I do shamanic astrology. It's a conscious merging with the planetary forces once you understand them and know exactly what you're asking about them. And I incorporate shamanic astrology into any Astrology Plus session if the client so desires. On Monday, July 31st, your muse could be urging you to make more time for her as she recognizes the possibilities of a yod with the Sun, Jupiter, and Neptune. Its creative possibilities are huge. On the back end, the Sun is dignified in its own sign of Leo. This radiates the vibe of the performer in the spotlight. Jupiter's in Libra, amplifying the energy of the artist. And both planets send their energy to Piscean Neptune, where both the planet and sign represent divine inspiration. You've got about a week and a half to catch this creative download. This yod begins today on July 31st, peaks on August 8th, and ends on August 10th. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to my Benjamin Bernstein YouTube channel to be notified when I post new videos. And if you like this video, please share it. This free video forecast is a partner project with iTunes' #1 astrology audio podcast, This Week in Astrology. It's also free. You can get my twice-a-month astrology forecast in writing by subscribing to my free email newsletter at astroshaman.com. Once you're there, you can also link to my Facebook page where I post daily forecasts. As I mentioned earlier, my personal services include astrology, shamanic healing, and awakening activation. I also offer other great products and services, many of which are free. To learn more, visit astroshaman.com. Thanks again for watching. I wish you infinite blessings as the stars light your way.